Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh. Traffic Avenue, oh yeah. Welcome to the Traffic Avenue.
Citi 97.3. Accra.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi
News. It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu, and tonight I'm here with
Melody Fafa Botufe.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
We've arrested 2,241 foreign nationals, made up of the following: 384 male adults, 577 male children.
Over 2,000 foreigners engaged in street begging rounded up by the Ghana Immigration Service for possible deportation. They were picked up in various parts of Accra. We'll be talking to our reporter who first broke the news here on Eyewitness News. Also coming up, Public Services Workers Union to embark on a strike over outstanding allowances. And later on Eyewitness News,
government will soon start the distribution and installation of street lights in all districts of Greater Accra.
President John Mahama promises to light up Accra after a thank you tour to the region. We'll be hearing more on what his plans are. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Absa Bank Research projects Citi to settle at 14 Ghana cedis per dollar by year end.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations around the globe. We are on citinewsroom.com as well as citifmonline.com. We are also live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. Just look for Citi FM and follow the live feed as we bring you proceedings here from our studios. If you want to also join the discussion, send messages on WhatsApp to 549 986 996 0549 986 996. If you want to go on Twitter, now known as X, the platform, the hashtag to use is Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sanda, so you can mention me at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. If you're traveling outside Accra and want to know how to listen to us, well, in the Western region, we are on Adwinpa 100.7 FM in Takwa. We're on Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady, as well as Sky 93.5 FM also in Takrady. In the Bono region, we're on Greenha 95.9 FM in the capital, Sunyani. In Ashanti region, we're in Kumasi on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM. In the Volta region, we're on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu and also in Hohe on VOV Radio 95.7. In Northern region on Radio Bimbela 91.9 FM. In Upper East on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. In Upper West, we're in Wa on Tunsung 97.3 FM and Jirapa 96.1 FM. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra, Ghana. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with Fafa Melody Botufe. We start off with the streets of Accra. Fred Duho is my colleague here in the Citi Newsroom, and this morning he chanced upon a story, which story is generating both local and international headlines. Fred, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sanda.
What happened? About what time today?
I actually got to the Ubichibi Lamte circle or interchange around 6 to 6:30 thereabout. And what I saw was immigration officials that were basically trying to coordinate a number of people. So that caught my interest, and when I stopped, I realized these are people who we somehow term like undocumented migrants who have been in this country, or street beggars. So they've been in this country on our major streets, begging almost every vehicle, anywhere you can see at intersections, they are there. And so today they took up the initiative to clamp down on their activities, and that is what has been happening. They actually deployed the officers simultaneously across the city, somewhere in Medina, somewhere around the Kotoka International Airport, somewhere around the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, and other major places you can think of. So at the end of the day, they were all brought to the Abosokan area, where they were all later conveyed to the headquarters of the Ghana Immigration Service.
So it was not a single location operation; it was a multiple place operation.
Exactly the case.
And they said over 2,000 people were rounded up.
2,241 people were rounded up, and I think we should go through the data quickly. The data as of the time we got the update from the Ghana Immigration Service around 1 p.m. And the figures were given because we're told it's going to increase because they were still doing the operation, but because the media was present and they needed to give us some updates, this was what they gave us as at 1 p.m. Adults, total 909 adults, that is both male and female. The male 384, the female 525. Children, total of 1,332. Male children 577, female children 755. So all came to a total of 2,241 in terms of the total made up of male, female, and children.
Interesting. So they were rounded up. They were not necessarily arrested, were they?
Exactly the case.
Were they handled well?
They were treated well, professionally. I must say the immigration officials give them the needed care they deserve. There was at a point where this woman, from the look of things and the protruding of her belly, one can conclude that she's pregnant. She was quite unconscious at a point at the Abosokan area. When we got to the headquarters, we also realized that she actually collapsed, sort of, and she was quickly taken to the clinic. Then again, they had medical officers on site that did screening for this number of people, and then again they also fed them. Earlier when we got there, we saw that they erected canopies at their main car park where they were trying to attend to them. So they did their categorization at the car park.
So they transported them to
all of them to the GIS headquarters, where they give them the needed attention they all deserve. They were actually handled properly.
I see.
From all I observed.
Did any of them say anything to you, the beggars? Did they?
No, I mean, there was this language barrier. I was thinking if you were present or covering this, it could have been much easier because of the Hausa.
It depends. It depends if
no, you speak Hausa, so obviously you would have been able to.
Maybe they don't speak Hausa.
No, some of them do actually. Some of them express themselves in Hausa.
Okay.
But the immigration officers, they have a number of officers who do speak various languages, and so they were able to do the translation, and then they went ahead to take their details and they want to identify them, profile them properly before they repatriate them. We are told they'll be sent back to wherever they came from tonight, and we are hoping to hear something from the GIS on that.
So they took buses to go and load them and bring them there, and they've said that they will repatriate them. Do they know where their countries are, which countries they'll be sending them to, or they are still doing that profiling?
They are still doing that profiling, and we are hoping to get the details, but largely the assumption here basically is that some of them, or a large number of them, are from Niger, and that is what we've gathered.
Please stay with me, Fred Duho, my colleague in the Citi Newsroom. Let's speak to Dr. Ernestina Tete. She is a convener of the Coalition for Street Connected Children Organizations. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Maru.
When my colleague spoke to you last week, you raised issue with data relating to these persons and also talked about the challenges involved in dealing with the situation. You talked about knee-jerk approach to the issue, saying that treating the children as a security threat without long-term solutions has failed us. I can quote you. Lots of quotes have been put up there, but maybe that will be not necessary because I have you now on the line. What do you make of the reaction from the Ghana Immigration Service today, which has followed a number of days of campaign, or even weeks or months of campaign on ridding our streets of street beggars?
Thank you, Sanda, and good evening to your listeners. So we, the members of our coalition, myself, and maybe most of us woke up to the news on social media that this was what was going on. It wasn't surprising because we saw it coming, because usually, as I mentioned when I was speaking with Bernard last week, usually when there is a noise, we start to talk about the street beggars and the children, and then the next thing you know is there's a reaction like that. And that was exactly what we were speaking about last week, that has been our MO in the past. For successive governments have used this approach. It hasn't worked. The numbers keep increasing, and the message is clear that we can't keep on doing things the way we are doing them. So while it is not surprising for us to get in to see to hear about what was going on this morning, it was a bit surprising because we had raised our caution last week, and then it happened. I'm happy and it's refreshing to know from your colleague that they've been treated very well and handled very well, because our concern as a coalition immediately was what is happening to the children among them. And the statistics is confirming that the children are more than 50% of the people that were rounded up today. So our immediate concern was what plans or what actions have been taken to ensure that their rights are not infringed, that they are going to be taken care of, and their rights are going to be protected. So it's refreshing to know that on day one, they've been taken care of. Our problem, our question, Sandra, is what happens day 2, day 3, day 4, and the rest. How do we ensure that this doesn't come back, that the numbers don't even double in the coming year? How do we ensure that these children moving on, once we send them over to the next border, whether they even make it there, are going to be protected? And they are not going to be trafficked, or they are not going to be used by another player. They are not going to be exploited further than they have been exploited. They are being beggars on our streets. That has been our question. And so our initial thought was, this is happening again. At what point are we going to do something differently for a different result? So that would be our initial reaction to what has happened this morning. And it's also that the Ghana Immigration Service is doing this. We know that it may be well within their place or their rights to do this. Our challenge is, as we mentioned last week, no single agency or ministry or institution can deal with this. It's supposed to be a joint up action among several ministries, some of whom we had highlighted in our conversation. And so it was also a bit surprising to know that to hear Ghana Immigration Services doing this. We are not sure who else is part of it, but it would be unfortunate, or it would be concerning or worrying if Ghana Immigration Service is doing this alone. Then we are going to come back to the place where we've always started and even have the problem worse than we started.
How can that be prevented, though? So you talk about the safety of the children to be taken across the borders, as if that's even going to happen in the first place. And you also talk about the possibility of them returning. What is a standard operating procedure that can be deployed to prevent this from repeating itself, which is your worry?
So, Sandra, we mentioned that the ministry had launched a 5-year strategic plan, which we had contributed immensely to, which spells out every detail about what to do about street-connected children. And Sandra, this is concentrating on foreign nationals. But I tell you, our nationals, our children doing all kinds of things and not just begging on the streets, are more than the foreign nationals we see. So we have the ministry has launched this strategic plan that takes care of all of these children who are in the streets, including foreign nationals. And in the strategic plan, our strong recommendation and proposed solutions is a joint action among the Ministry of Gender, Children, Social Protection, the Ministry of Interior, where immigration will rightly belong, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the foreign nationals, Ministry of Finance, and CSOs, civil society, including the media, NGOs that work with street-connected children. We are supposed to. That hasn't really happened. But everybody, every branch of this work is working on the components of street-connected children. And we haven't sat down as a joint group to think through how to do this. I mentioned to Bernard last week that even if we want to be as draconian as we're being today, we still have to think through how to do it so that it doesn't come back to us or harm us, and it doesn't harm the children in the process. So if you ask us, what we are saying is that the ministry has a strategic plan. The ministry has to lead this process, bring all the other relevant stakeholders together, sit down and plan through this so we have a sustainable approach of dealing with this issue. Beyond that, I don't see how one single ministry can act on this for it to work. Because people talk about our borders being porous and these children will come back. They'll come back with adults. They'll find another way of coming. And when they are in here, they are the problem of another ministry. So this ministry has to be concerned about the children coming back. And that is why we all have to be seated at the table to discuss these issues. Otherwise, we'll always come back to this.
So the soup happened. Many people are excited, but you do not think that this will last. You do not even think that.
No, I don't think people should be excited because it's not the first of its kind. If history is anything to go by, we are not supposed to be excited. If I'm not mistaken, it's already in 2022 or 2023. There was a similar one where patients get off the street. There was a similar situation. It happened not 3 years ago or less. And we are here, it's bigger. They came back with a bang. So I don't think we should be excited. There is nothing to be excited about, yes. For those who it's an eyesore to see every morning, to see them washing and coming onto your cars and all of that, you get a temporary relief for now because they know their eyes, their eyes on them. And then in a matter of months, they will come back and they'll come back bigger. So we shouldn't be excited. There's really nothing to be excited about. Okay. I think what it should be is more of concern because it's not the first time we've used this approach and it's not going to work, Sandra.
I'm not sure if my next question is something you can respond to. I'm looking at cross-border relationship, sub-regional relationship treaties that we have signed, the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of persons and goods and all of those things. These people who are described as foreign nationals are mostly from the West African sub-region. If the plan is to round them up and deport them, is there have we considered, or what's your view on retaliatory measures, considering that the countries that have been mentioned, Niger, Burkina Faso, these are countries that are run currently by military juntas and they may not necessarily subscribe to the democratic rules that we go by. I don't know how we can handle this without incurring their wrath too, because of course there will be our citizens there, maybe not beggars, but of course maybe involved in other menial jobs and so on.
Thank you, Sandra. You were very right by saying that I may not be able to respond. I am not able to respond accurately or adequately to this question. Okay. Now, what I think it tells us is the fact that we need joint action because somebody should be responding to this and somebody should be part of the action to respond to this, and that is why one ministry can do it. So I think it just buttresses the fact that we need all the angles and the arms that are interested or are vested in this issue to be at the table so that somebody will answer the question that you are asking. Because when the person says, oh, let's round them up and take them back, the one who is responsible for cross-border relations and security and all of that will say, have you thought about retaliatory measures? And that is where we sit down at a round big table to think through all of this. Otherwise, they do it and then it comes as a backlash on our citizens that are in their country because they are upset. So I think that is what I can say to your question, but I'm not able to answer cross-border relationships in diaspora.
So you also mentioned that aside foreigners, we also have Ghanaian citizens doing the same thing on the street. So we round up this group of people and plan to deport them. Yes. What should be the approach towards our own?
So the approach towards our own is so most of the NGOs, in fact all the NGOs that form the coalition and those who are outside of, because there are so many NGOs working on street children, as part of their core mandate, they also do reintegration. So when they find children on the streets, they have all kinds of interventions. Some are taken to school, some are put into apprenticeship depending on their ages, and some are with the hope of reintegrating them and taking them back to their families, because they are Ghanaian citizens and we can trace them back to their families. So for them, that is the best approach, unless there is no familial support or there is no families to go back to. Then between the Department of Social Welfare and the NGOs, they work out an intervention where the NGOs are housing these children. But ultimately, the plan of the NGOs and the Department of Social Welfare that these children are supposed to be taken back home with the right processes put in place, the children prepared, the family prepared, and then whatever causes the push factors, the things that push them away from the home, be it poverty, be it abuse, be it the curiosity on the part of the child, are addressed before the child is taken to their family. Again, we mentioned that the NGOs do not have the capacity to do this alone. This is supposed to be a state-level issue. So issues on poverty alleviation, because research has indicated that the greatest cost, especially for our Ghanaian nationals, our Ghanaian citizens, the children, the most prevalent cause for these children being on the street is poverty, household poverty. And so if it has to be dealt with, then the issue of poverty in general, the root cause has to be tackled.
there's a bigger issue that has to be addressed.
There's a bigger issue which we have been working with the Department of Social Welfare, and it's all recommended in the strategic plan on how the government can support policies that are enabling to help the NGOs work, because the NGOs work is also being made so difficult by all kinds of regulations that are not favorable, even though they are doing amazing work, So we are working, and it's all part of what we have in the strategic plan. So, Sandra, all we are saying is that government or the ministry should implement the strategic plan that it's so invested in. It's been invested in, it's been developed, it's been launched, and we haven't started talking about it. Everything we need is in there. So at least let's start from that point, and if it's not adequate, we know where to move from there. So that would be a resounding recommendation, that there is a plan. Let's go to the plan and see what the plan is and start working on the plan.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Doc.
Thank you too, Sandra.
That's
Bye-bye.
Dr. Ernestina Tete Babai, convener, Coalition for Street Connected Children Organization. Fred, who is still in studio. Fred, so what happens next? They've done this unannounced. They didn't invite the media, right? You just happened to chance on it, so which means clearly they were going to do this quietly, which is a work they do as Ghana Immigration Service. We have seen it, put a spotlight on it now. What happens next between today and Monday, and what's their plan? Are they going to go out and bring more people and deport them? How soon before they deport these people? Do you know?
The head of PR, Mr. Michael Amwakwata, actually Superintendent Michael Amwakwata, told us that they will try as much as possible to deport them today. And so buses have been made available that after feeding them, after catering for their health screening and everything, they would put them on board a bus and ferry them straight to wherever they came from. So they are believing that they will ascertain their identities, where they are coming from, and also liaise with the diplomatic missions that these individuals or countries that these individuals are coming from. So their diplomats would also come in to provide one form of support or the other, because they've already been given the assurance that they are collaborating with these diplomats on that level, and they are also in support of what they are doing. I want to believe that if we should go to the GIS headquarters this evening, it is my belief that those people will not be present there.
But they were there when you left this afternoon.
Exactly the case. And so we were told they will be leaving roughly by end of today. So if you go there and we still see them, it means that there are other bigger challenges probably confronting the exercise.
Fred, you are familiar with how our border or our boundaries are and our borders are. Picture this: they take them in big buses. Let's say they are sending them to Togo, and they get to Aflao and they cross over. How easy is it to come back into Ghana between today and tomorrow morning?
If the person is not willing to leave the country and so bent on returning to Ghana, it is obvious that the person will find his or her way back
before the immigration bus arrives in Accra.
Because the fact is that we have so many porous borders. When you go to the eastern border of Ghana, that is Aflao border, for instance, the number of beats, and the beats, these are unauthorized routes, you would have to cross. So many of them. Somebody's farm is in Ghana, his kitchen is in Togo. And so these people are able to maneuver and enter into the country through these unapproved routes. And then again, those who manage to come even with the vehicles, the confident ones who are able to board a bus from wherever they are coming from, when they get to the border, what happens is that the drivers are complicit in this. They get down to go pay the immigration officials.
Clearance.
They clear the way for these people to come in. I have witnessed it before. I'm not making this up. I have seen immigration officials or border officials take money and leave people to enter into this country.
Both Togo side and Ghana side?
I have seen that on the Togo side. I've seen that. And then I was once at the Ivory Coast border as well, where we were told that there was this particular river that serves as a border between Ivory Coast and the boundary between Ghana and Ivory Coast. You will see people cross the river with a canoe and go to farm and return. We saw immigration officials dotted along the banks of these rivers. They are there to police. So if these people are complicit in any way, these numbers we are seeing, like the experts are saying, it may double if we lose our guards on these matters.
So if the people who are being sent home are not willing, they will be back.
They will be back. There is some level of comfort they find on our streets. That must be made clear, that probably there is something chasing them from home or wherever they are in their countries, and that is why they seek solace in this country. And generally, if one will really keep this, it might be some level of collaboration between the heads of state, the foreign ministers, and the major stakeholders to make sure they nip this in the bud.
Thank you so much, Fred Duho of the Citi Newsroom. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi. And we'll take a break now. We'll be back with more, but let me let you listen to the head of public relations of the Ghana Immigration Service, Michael Amarkwata.
We have identified by or through intelligence. We zoned the whole national capital into 11 zones, from Zabuzongo to KIA to Madina, Abokobi, and what have you. And as we speak, we've arrested 2,241 foreign nationals, made up of the following: 384 male adults, then 577 male children, 525 female adults, and then 755 female children. All these persons are currently undergoing profiling. When they arrived, we had various tents set up and officers. We have the GI clinic on standby to conduct medical screening for any of them, especially children and old persons who may need medical attention immediately.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Sabutru Krum, now yes, charcoal toothpaste. Yes, charcoal toothpaste. I know I actually ye, no be a fast one and watching. Esan say, charcoal toothpaste be brave and a wood jasso. Now so nina na yama was saying, Titrum pony say woonino. Bon whom what is our better charcoal toothpaste? Ye dibidian kasaye, na enya dike Canada gumu. Now the yinka can wait through simu. Now seeing ya wading, na say fita. To charcoal toothpaste, fluoride, a womu, na bo seho bang, na manaya ding, da, ecosystem of Bakokra Sabrewa. Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste. Dear, what DBD, lemon, mint, and a zinc, and a carbomoye. Ente ma was ding, now when you say ram the munina. Pepsodent dear, you knew that out. Ente was the BD, lemon, and a mint, a carbomoye dear. And your natural say, yes, sing a down for no. A bemo no my ram, now bow so by a freaky kawabiemu. To Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste. Fetch you sing, now more so by a brabia.
Oh, jump on now. Go, go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. sector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action no. Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The Parliamentary Select Committee on Education has expressed concern over the high number of abandoned projects in senior high schools across the central region. The projects include dormitories, classroom blocks, assembly halls and administrative buildings, many of which have stalled for years. Speaking to Citi News, chairman of the committee, Peter Nochukotoe, urged the government to take urgent steps to complete these projects in order to ease the burden on school management and improve conditions of students.
For secondary schools, on our rounds, we've discovered that there are a lot of abandoned projects in the various secondary schools. Dormitories, classrooms, assembly hall, and poor furniture. So we are appealing to government that government should make sure that they complete all these projects to enable us eliminate the double track. Because some of the schools we went, if those projects were completed, there will be no double track in those schools. So we are recommending to government to complete those projects to improve access to secondary education. And for the private universities, I think government, as they are requesting, they import a lot of equipment. So government should support them in a way by maybe reducing the tariff or the duty that they pay on imported equipment so that they can have enough resources. We're going to amend the law so that that law which says that by December, if you did not charter, you have your university closed down, it will not be part of the law as it exists now.
You are chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education, Peter Nochukotoe. Away from that, Minister of Finance Dr. Kasia Atuforsing has announced plans by government to acquire 200,000 hectares of land to boost cocoa production in the country. He made this known during the inauguration of an 11-member board of directors for Cocoa Board tasked with reviving and expanding the declining cocoa sector. Policy advisor at the Office of the Vice President, Dr. Samuel Ofuswampofo, chairs the board, which also includes the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Dr. Atuforsing decried what he described as mismanagement of the sector and pledged to improve operations within the cocoa industry.
Unlike Ivory Coast, cocoa production in Ghana is largely coming from peasant farmers, the small plantation, and also smallholder farms. I believe the time has come for us to introduce plantation farms. The Ministry of Finance is working with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and we intend to acquire up to 200,000 hectares of cocoa lands. We will acquire it in the form of land banks, and we'll work with Ghana Cocoa Board so that we can attract plantation farmers and to allow plantation farmers to come in this time to develop large plantation farms. With that, we believe that Cocoa Board will be able to increase their production from these current levels to a possible 1 million metric ton in the shortest possible time within the next 5 years. Aside, we believe that Ghana Cocoa Board themselves, as part of the structures that they are putting in place, will also encourage cocoa plantation among the existing structures.
You heard Minister of Finance Dr. Kasia Atuforsing. Now, a professor of law at the University of Ghana, Professor Apieje Etua, says the minority's petition against the acting CEO of the Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, could enhance the country's asset declaration regime and overall accountability. The minority has petitioned Shraj, the CID, and the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate Mr. Gyamfi, despite President Mahama's decision not to pursue further disciplinary action following the dollar gift saga. Reacting to the development, Professor Apieje Etua welcomed the petition but questioned the MPP's moral authority to demand accountability on the matter.
The MPP move will help to know whether, in this case, then it is not just about the doling out of the money, but also where the money came from. And so going to the OSP and charge and so on would enable us to know if such a declaration was made, and if so, that is how we will be able to know if the money was illegally acquired or not. So that is in the context in which I support the NPP move, but not necessarily because they have that moral compass on their side to be able to initiate such moves, because I believe that during their time they did something which was worse than what we are experiencing now under the NDC.
You heard a professor of law at the University of Ghana, Professor Apieje Etua.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. Let me bring some of the messages that you have been sending through. Al Hassan Hamdan from Newing South says that it's a step in the right direction. Kudos to the Minister for the Interior. Such a good exercise. Ghanaians must support the ministry and its agencies to address this menace, which is a serious national security threat. Jones Adboy in La says GIS deserves commendations for clearing our streets of beggars. In fact, to say the least, they have become a daily nuisance. Indeed, radio gets results, but this shouldn't be a 9-day wonder. JDM is working. Mausi Ayibi Eister from Abutiateti in the Volta region says the operation is carried out by the Ghana Immigration Service today in Accra, clearing undocumented immigrants from major streets known for begging is a call in the right direction. These actions aim to enhance public safety, reduce street congestion, and uphold immigration laws. We support the efforts to maintain order and ensure national security, fostering a secure environment for all residents and visitors. More such should be encouraged to clear our streets. Nene Gaddafi in Yilokrobo says, what is the responsibility of the security agencies before over 2,000 immigrants got their way into the country? It is time the various agencies take the security issues of the country seriously. Some may be street beggars, but others can be, something else. The research agenda is working. Let's build Ghana together. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. Mark Rubin says, great move evacuating these street beggars. I have an experience I don't want to remind myself. When they died, my white shirt deaths or one early morning. I didn't know whether I should cry or smack these kids. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema says the Ghana Immigration Service's recent crackdown on street beggars in Accra is a necessary step to restore order and dignity to our capital. This decisive action underscores the urgent need for a comprehensive strategy to addressing streetism and protect the vulnerable. Ghana is indeed working under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Gastiman from Brekum, he says, does Ghana Immigration Service only operate in Accra? These people are everywhere across the country. They are more in Takoradi, Kumasi, Sunyani, etc. Baba Chairman in Tamale says, kudos to the Immigration Service for embarking on this exercise. This exercise should not be a one-day exercise, but a sustained one to remove all these illegal migrants. Nene Azu says, can you ask the lady you spoke to what her NGO has been doing about all manner of beggars and miscreants as we have them scattered in the capital and across the regions? Because we only hear from them when government takes action. All I hear her talk about is rights, rights, rights. I find it strange that it's only immigration that is undertaking this exercise. Embargo from Accra says, I think it's very necessary, very important to handle these street beggars with utmost good care, as if they are our own biological children, brothers and sisters, so it does not look like we hate them because we are all blacks and one Africa. If we are not happy with what is happening in USA, then we must be very careful, because if all are okay in Africa, I do not think some will travel to Europe and USA for greener pastures. The begging with by children is just the offense, but not their presence in Ghana. John Labini in Sang in Myong says, let's all hope that Accra, being the national capital, gets brighter light so that it can be replicated across the length and breadth of the nation. Thanks to President Mahama. Isaac Sokbo from Agbozume says that the issue of street beggars on streets goes beyond repatriation. What happens to those who sit at home and benefit from such beggars? Some of these people are being trafficked and working for people to get paid. GIS should endeavor to get to the root of these adversities for our major streets to be free of beggars. Jazzy from La Paz says, what does the immigration officer mean by arrested? What crime have they committed? As much as we are not happy with their way of living on our street, we should not address the issue with any form of discrimination. Send your message to 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Alternatively, you can go on Twitter, now known as X, and drop your messages there by mentioning my handle at Umar Rusanda or at Citi 973.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. Loco shoe. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back to Eyewitness News. Let's do some more stories now. The president has announced that the government will soon commence the distribution of streetlights across all districts in the Greater Accra region. According to him, the initiative forms part of efforts to promote a 24-hour economy aimed at boosting economic activities and improving public safety during nighttime. President Mahama was addressing a Durbar at the Old Ganata AstroTurf in Dodowa today during his thank you tour.
Let me commend the efforts of the Honorable Regional Minister Linda Akwele-Oklu and her MMDCs for their work in improving the street lighting and public safety in Accra. Well-lit communities deter crime and enhance urban mobility. I encourage the continuation and expansion of this initiative and will give it the full support of central government. Government will soon start the distribution and installation of street lights in all districts of Greater Accra. This will be important to promote our 24-hour economy policy.
The president also disclosed that Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, who has been on medical leave since April 7, 2025, is expected back into the country next week.
I begin by bringing you greetings from Her Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. And I'm happy to state that I spoke to her yesterday morning and she'll be back in the country before the end of next week. By God's grace, she's fully recovered and she's going to come and go back to her duties.
You heard President John Dramani Mahama. Now, the Member of Parliament for Asin South, Reverend John Intim Fojo, has denied media reports suggesting that he has been sued by the Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dafamepo. Reports earlier indicated that Dafiamepo had filed a defamation suit against Ntimfodjo over a social media post alleged to have damaged his reputation. But in a statement cited by Citi News, Ntimfodjo said he has not been served with any such suit. He added that he awaits the official service of the alleged suit and is confident it holds no merit. Away from that, the Electricity Company of Ghana says efforts are underway to identify and retrieve its missing containers of cables. This comes after an investigative report revealed that ECG had over 2,000 containers filled with cables and other essential equipment at the Tema port. However, an independent audit found only 1,134 containers, leaving 1,357 unaccounted for. Appearing before the Energy Committee of Parliament, Acting Managing Director of ECG, Kwame Kpekpena, said the company is working with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to recover the missing containers.
And I have to commend the port authorities. GPHA has been working with us to identify where they are. They are my containers, but we left them in the custody of the port authorities, and so they are helping us. I'm expecting them to give us a full report soon. Even today, I had a discussion with the Director General. So very soon we will know exactly where each one of them is. So thank you very much. Yes, Honorable, you mentioned our 3 challenges you took from our what we submitted, which is our upstream costs, our tariff.
You heard Acting Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Kwame Kpekpena. Away from that, the Odumase Police Command is on a manhunt for a suspected notorious carjacker, Solomon Sian Tete, believed to be behind a series of car thefts in the Krobo Enclave. The suspect, identified as the ringleader of a carjacking syndicate, is said to chill victims to their homes and steal their vehicles in the dead of the night. The stolen cars are then transported to a hideout at Nyaso in the lower Menya Krobo municipality. However, their operations were disrupted last week after they stole a Hyundai vehicle from a driver at Nkurakai, a community near Kofodra. Unknown to the driver, the vehicle had a tracking device installed by its owner, who promptly reported the theft to the police headquarters. Police then coordinated with officers at Odumase and Nyaso and laid an ambush at the location indicated by the tracker. 3 suspects were arrested at the scene and admitted to their involvement in the theft. Their leader, Solomon Sian Tete, narrowly escaped as police closed in on his nearby hideout. Moving on, the Achima Kwanwoma District Assembly has unanimously confirmed Grace Asamoah Agyeman as the District Chief Executive following her nomination by President John Dramani Mahama, giving her a 100% endorsement. All 47 Assembly members voted in favor of her nomination, officially confirming her as the new DCE for the district. Grace Asamoah Agyeman was the National Democratic Congress's parliamentary candidate in the 2024 elections. Speaking to the media, she called on all stakeholders to support and pray for her, emphasizing that unity is essential for development.
And trust that I can tap into expertise of every one of you and get the cooperation of everybody to move the developmental agenda of the district forward. I assume this office of District Chief Executive with a clear conscience and an open heart, bearing nobody a grudge, and promising an inclusive administration that is open to accepting inputs from all quarters, provided that they would help address the numerous challenges confronting us as a people. I therefore extend a hand of friendship to all with the hope that it will ensure party cohesion for effective governance in order to deliver on the mandates entrusted to the National Democratic Congress by the good people of Ghana. I know the stakes and expectations towards meeting the needs of the people are very high. But I'm very confident that with the support of the central government, my member of parliament, heads of departments, opponents from the other political parties, and other well-meaning citizens, we shall succeed.
You heard Grace Asamwajiman, the newly sworn-in District Chief Executive of the Achumakwama District Assembly in the Ashanti region.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with Fafa Botufe. And do follow our website, citinewsroom.com, if you want to get details of some of the stories that you may have missed. We're going to go for business news next, and then we'll come back. We have Point Blank for you, where we do all those one-on-one interviews that matter for you. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa Botufe. Let's settle for the details now. Car Powership Ghana has ruled out any potential shutdown of its plants over a $400 million debt owed by the government. The company says it is engaging authorities to reach a sustainable resolution on the arrears. Talks between Car Powership and the government have been ongoing since February as Ghana's energy sector debt climbs to $3 billion, raising red flags from the IMF over the stability of the sector. Car Powership tells Citi Business News it will prioritize running its plant to avoid any power disruptions. Sandra Amakwe is Communications Manager at Car Powership Ghana.
I must say that negotiations with the government over the past week regarding the accrued debt have progressed significantly. We are optimistic about a positive outcome. I must add that Car Powership as a company, we are committed to supplying reliable power to the national grid.
You heard Communications Manager at Car Powership Ghana, Sandra Amakwe. Now, Ghana's cocoa export revenue is facing serious threats due to limited large-scale investment in the sector. As part of efforts to safeguard the country's position in the global cocoa market, the International Trade Center is stepping in to help align local production with evolving international standards. National Coordinator for the Center's value chain initiatives in Ghana, Larry Atipo, believes strengthening the cocoa value chain and securing long-term export competitiveness is crucial.
The International Trade Center wants to help farmers to, play at the international level and in all types of markets in a sustainable manner. So one, we bring information. What does it take you to produce to meet international demand? So that information we have access to, we generate because we are in league with all the markets. We know what they want, so we pass on that information to small, medium enterprises, farmers, farmer cooperatives here, so they don't produce with a mistaken belief that it will enter a market, but only to get to the border and be returned. So they know the rules before embark on any idea of export, and also to produce quality goods for the local markets. We do that. So we do this through bringing the information, also creating opportunities for training, and then linking them directly to the markets. We take them to fairs to see how this is evolving.
Larry Atipo is National Coordinator for the International Trade Center's value chain in Ghana. Meanwhile, the newly inaugurated Board of Directors for the Ghana Cocoa Board has been tasked to reverse the decline in the sector as cocoa production continues to slump. The current state of Cocoa Board has been described as alarming following a drop in cocoa output from 1 million to 500,000 metric tons in recent years. The 11-member board is chaired by Dr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo and includes the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atuforsing, and the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Away from that, Farm Milk Ghana PLC has marked its 65th anniversary with a renewed focus on operational expansion and job creation. As part of the celebrations, the company has announced the approval of a dividend payment. Managing Director Lionel Perrin says the dividend payout reflects the company's sustained growth and commitment to building on its recent gains.
Now on this journey, we want to triple the size of Fine Milk. We want to be the preferred FMCG in Ghana and also build Ghana as an export hub, powerful hub, to Ivory Coast, Togo, Benin, to drive further employment. So we have a lot of dreams, to achieve. We have a lot of dreams, to create 20,000 street vendors daily, to expand, because that's the way we are going to support our economy. That's the way we are going to support, local income, to empower people to grow, to invest. I'm proud because Fan Milk is still owned at 40% by Ghanaian. When today we announced that we are paying 9 million dividend, it's 9 million, 40% of 9 million is going straight to the pocket of people living here, that they can use it for their pension, for the school fees of their children, for their medical bills. That's something that we are very, very proud, and we are paying dividend 2 years back in a row, while over the last 10 years we don't pay dividend. So it's also a good sign that the business is recovering, and it's also sending a signal to the wider international communities that Ghana, you can do well.
Lionel Perrin is Managing Director of Farm Milk Ghana PLC. Deputy Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Samson Ahi, speaking to the media, urged Farm Milk Ghana PLC to take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area to scale up its operations and tap into wider markets across the continent.
I was asking them to take advantage of the presence of AFTA, because you can see that even among African countries, we are not trading among ourselves. If you look at it, among African countries, we are doing about 14% just trading among members. And so you will still have huge markets that we need to explore. So I was just trying to challenge them that even though they have performed, they have done very well in Ghana, they should try and then expand to our sister countries like Togo, Ivory Coast, Burkina, and so on and so forth, so that they can expand the markets. Doing that, they will help create jobs for our brothers and sisters who are also in the other countries, and that they will also increase their capital, working capital, and then actually set their economic giants so far as the farm milk product is concerned.
Samson Ahi is Deputy Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Now, fuel pumps have begun recording a reduction in prices. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers (COPEC) is projecting an 8.3% drop in diesel prices, a 4% reduction in petrol prices, and a 10% decrease in the price of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG). Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily, Head of Research and Training at COPEC, Paul Eric Ofori, urged oil marketing companies, OMCs, and the Chamber of Oil Marketing Associations to ensure the immediate reflection of these reductions at the pumps.
What we are going to witness from today might be quite significant in that we are expecting especially diesel to drop by about 8.5%, petrol doing some 4%, and then LPG likewise doing about 10%. In a nutshell, we are looking at diesel dropping by about 1 cedi. At least, minimum. And we want to appeal to the OMCs, just as they respond to increments here and there, where there is a decrease. We want to appeal to them. Why does it take forever for them to reflect same at the pumps? Okay, so I want to use your medium to appeal to OMCs and especially the association itself to bring their members in line to make sure they reduce the prices at the pumps. And I wish that just as they do when it's about to go up, they should do same when it's supposed to go down.
You had Head of Research and Training at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers (COPEC), Paul Eric Ofori. And that's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. Botufe. Up next is Point Blank.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Oh, jump on now.
Go, the go. Ah, Ugomi, at what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank every day. Polytank, Polytank, the original, always the best.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Omar Rusanda. And tonight on Point Blank, well, President Mahama has begun a thank you tour, or rather continuing with a thank you tour. He was in the Upper West region yesterday. Today he's in the Greater Accra region, and he went to my district capital, Dodowa, which is a town that has been on the radar all these years to be named the capital of the Greater Accra region. Well, that's yet to happen. Suffice it to say, he was there. He met with opinion leaders, chiefs, politicians, non-political actors, and he spoke to them. Before we hear the President John Dramani Mahama, let's hear from the President of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Ni Udaifio Wellington III, who spoke also in Dodowa today.
On behalf of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, we would like to extend our greetings to everyone present and convey our warmest regards, and also to congratulate our President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, on his successful re-election during the 2024 general elections. We say kudos. I believe you and the National Democratic Congress, on whose ticket you ran, campaigned tirelessly to persuade the electorate to support you, driven by a conviction of victory. However, the extent of your landslide win came as a surprise. The voting patterns and outcomes, both presidential and parliamentary, were shocking and revealing, highlighting a clear demand for change among the people. This remarkable re-election signifies two important things: the strong faith the majority of Ghanaians have in you, and their dissatisfaction with your opponents. Having previously occupied the office of the president and faced a defeat, your extensive political experience positions you to foster hope, create a listening government, promote national unity, and most importantly, drive socio-economic development. Your acknowledgement of past mistakes during your tenure, which contributed to your 2016 defeat, reflects your integrity as a politician and a diplomat willing to learn from experience. Failing to heed these lessons could not only jeopardize your party's chances in the next election 2028, but potentially tarnish your reputation permanently. Politics aside, basic courtesy and ethics require that, once elected to represent the people, a leader must express gratitude. This is because the people have placed a great deal of trust in you and demonstrated their belief in your capabilities to better their lots. It is essential not only to express gratitude, but also to show sincerity in fulfilling your responsibilities. Doing so helps ensure that those who voted for you feel they made the right choice. Therefore, the President Thank You Tour across all regions is a vital and commendable initiative. Although I serve as a traditional leader with a busy schedule, I sometimes disguise myself to observe the discussions on social media. One hilarious remark they often make is questioning why leaders vanish into thin air after being elected, but are quick to engage with ordinary people in washing, eating, plaiting hair, playing ludo, a lot among others. In our normal activities, we see you almost every time. But when it gets to this level, sometimes it's quite very difficult for us to trace you. While these comments may seem funny, they carry a serious message. Thus, the masses expect some level of gratitude or appreciation from their leaders after they have elected them into office. They desire to maintain a bond or connection even after election, as they feel used and played on. Please, Mr. President, the first gentleman of the land, please, with the greatest of respect, urge your people in government to have a listening ear to the people of Ghana, because you personally can't get tired. It is division of labor. I therefore urge everyone to view this thank you tour as the President and his government's extension of bond and commitment to serve you, and the sign of assurance that he will always be there for you when you need him most. It should be established that this thank you tour is not limited to those who voted for candidate Mahama, but it also extends to his well-wishers and admirers. Ultimately, Ghana must come first before politics, politicians, and political parties. This victory belongs to all of us. It is a testament to the power of unity, collaboration, and the belief that together we can achieve great things. I invite each of you to remain engaged, share your ideas, and support the government to ensure the positive reset agenda. You are now a beacon of hope. Your success story extends beyond politics. It serves as an embodiment of inspiration to all, especially the youth, who often seek instant success without recognizing the value of perseverance. Once again, congratulations are setting in order. Mr. President, you are welcome to Greater Accra region. Thank you all for coming.
So that's the president of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Ni Odaifio Wellinche III, speaking in Dodowa, the capital of the Shayo Sudoku district, earlier today when the President John Dramani Mahama arrived for the thank you tour. After his welcome address, President John Dramani Mahama also addressed the gathering. Let's listen to him.
I begin by bringing you greetings from Her Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. And I'm happy to state that I spoke to her yesterday morning and she'll be back in the country before the end of next week. By God's grace, she's fully recovered and she's going to come and go back to her duties. It is with deep humility and heartfelt gratitude that I stand before you today here in Dodowa in the Greater Accra region as part of my national thank you tour. I'm here not just as the President of the Republic of Ghana, but as a grateful servant of the people of Ghana to acknowledge and appreciate the immense support that you, the chiefs and people of this historic region, gave me and the National Democratic Congress in the 2024 general elections. I say, Nyeyuanadong. To all our chiefs and queen mothers who received me in your palaces with hospitality and poured libation and said prayers for our success, I say thank you very much. God richly bless you. Greater Accra region has always been strategic in Ghana's national development journey. As the seat of government, as the hub of commerce and finance, and a center of culture, the region carries the aspirations and struggles of our nation in many ways. Your votes, your encouragement, and your enduring faith in our shared vision for Ghana's progress were decisive, and I do not take them for granted. To the traditional authorities gathered here, Nime Name, the revered members of the Regional House of Chiefs, I thank you for your leadership, your counsel, and for being pillars of peace in a time when our democracy needed it the most. You've kept our traditions alive and provided a firm foundation upon which modern governance can thrive in Ghana. As president, I've always believed that a nation that forgets those who stand with it in times of need forgets its own future. And so if you see me here today, I'm just here to say thank you, Greater Accra, for believing in us. Thank you, Greater Accra, for standing for justice, for standing for equity, for standing for a reset of our dear nation, Ghana. In fulfillment of the 120-day social contract we pledged during the campaign, I am proud to inform you that key actions have already been undertaken to lay the foundation of our reset agenda. These efforts are not abstract, but they are grounded in the daily struggles of the Ghanaian people, and especially of those who reside in our capital region, the Greater Accra. Let me acknowledge some of the sons and daughters of this region who are now playing key roles in my administration to deliver on the reset agenda. We have Madam Valerie Sawyer, who is the Senior Presidential Advisor on Governmental Affairs. We have Honorable Samuel Nate George, who is the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation. We have Honorable Agnes Namomo Late, who is the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. We have Honorable Rita Na Odole Soa, who is the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. We have the Honorable Linda Oklu, who is the Greater Accra Regional Minister. We also have other sons of this region serving in important positions, such as Mr. Sylvester Mensah, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export-Import Bank, popularly known as Ghana Exim. We have Dr. Ransford Anete Abe, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board. We have Mr. Julius Nikwe Kote, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA. We have Mr. Jones Bote Aple, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Gihok Distilleries Ghana Limited. We have Dr. Nimwe Thompson, who is the Chairman of the National Development Planning Commission. We have Genevieve Shirley Lati, who is the Executive Secretary of the Right to Information Commission. And we have Helga J. Bwedi, who is the Executive Director of the GNPC Foundation. These appointments reflect our commitment to inclusive governance and the full representation of every region in the shaping of Ghana's future. Nime Name, let me speak candidly on a few issues of concern to our capital region. And the first is flooding remains a major worry. Each year, lives and properties are lost as a result of floods, and this is due to poor drainage, unregulated development, and also the effects of climate change. This cannot continue. A dedicated interagency task force has already commenced work to implement a comprehensive flood mitigation strategy, and this includes the desilting of major drains, re-engineering of our waterways, relocating structures situated in watercourses, and enforcing our building regulations. The Odo Basin and the Kaneshi-Malam corridor are already being targeted under this plan. During my recent inspection of the World Bank funded Greater Accra Resilient Integrated Development Program, GARID, I found that most of the flood prevention works are far behind schedule. While we await the completion of these projects, I call on all residents of Accra to avoid flooded drains during the rains and protect their valuable personal properties during the peak season of the rainy season in Accra, which starts from the end of this month till the end of June. We know that Accra deserves a clean and resilient environment, and that is why we're integrating the Greater Accra Flood Control Master Plan into our National Climate Resilience Strategy. The Honorable Minister of Finance directed in this year's budget that 80% of the revenues accruing to the District Assembly's Common Fund should be paid directly to the MMDAs. I'm happy you clapped, because to whom much is given, much is expected. So you wait for what is coming. Should be paid directly to the MMDAs. This means that more resources are going to be available to all assemblies to implement their development projects and carry out effective sanitation programs to keep our districts clean. Cabinet will soon meet on a decentralization of the sanitation budget and make every district responsible for its own sanitation. And this is the key one. Cleanliness will become one of the key performance indicators for measuring the performance of MMDCAs and will determine whether they remain in office or are removed. And now that most of our DCEs have been nominated and confirmed, we'll begin observing the National Sanitation Day program every month. This will be a revived monthly exercise involving all Ghanaians. This time, it will not be a symbolic event. It will be legally backed, it will be properly funded, and it will be operationalized through partnerships with local assemblies and private sector service providers. Greater Accra, as the face of Ghana, must be clean, green, and dignified. MMDCs shall be responsible for ensuring the success of the National Sanitation Day event in their districts, and the law requiring every household to keep their frontage and the drain in front of their houses clean will be strictly enforced, and persons who fail to comply will be sanctioned appropriately. On road infrastructure, I'm aware of the frustrations caused by congestion in the Greater Accra region, poor maintenance of roads, and incomplete road projects. Under the Big Push, rehabilitation and construction of key road corridors, including the Adenta-Dodowa Road, the La Teshi Link, the Tema Hospital Motorway Road, Apollonia to Oyibi Road, Apollonia people, are you here? Apollonia to Oyibi Road, the Tema Motorway expansion which is ongoing, and other feeder roads in Ga East, Ga South, and Ningo Pram, including roads in Shai Osudoku, Adan East, and Adan West, are going to be fast-tracked under the Big Push. Additionally, we'll reconstruct the road from Dawenya to Afienya, from Afienya to Dodowa, and also from Doryumu to Dodowa, and in addition, the Ashaman to Madina Road will all be repaired under the Big Push. Under the same program, major expansion works will take place on the Liberation Road, the Polo Court, Airport, Aviance, Elwak to Christ the King Corridor, and on the Ring Road, Ingma Interchange, Beach Hotel. We'll also begin the construction of the Greater Accra Outer Ring Road, which will allow traffic that is continuing to the northern part of the country and to the western parts of the country to bypass Accra without coming through the city. And so it means trucks and others coming from Lome and going to Kumasi or to Takrade don't need to come through Accra city. They'll pass on the outer ring road and continue their journey. As a permanent fix to decongest Accra, we'll begin the design and feasibility study for a new city. Some of the government offices and agencies will be moved out of Accra to the new city. I believe that this city would be located somewhere on the Accra Plains, from Bondasi, straddling across Greater Accra, Eastern region, and Volta regions. The city will straddle 3 regions. The city will stretch to the banks of the Volta River, and there will be a railway link and an expressway that will link the new city to Accra. Chieftaincy disputes. While governments constitutionally cannot interfere in the internal matters of traditional institutions, we're deeply concerned by the impact of unresolved disputes on the development of our traditional areas in Greater Accra. I therefore urge all traditional councils to utilize the structures of the national and regional houses of chiefs to resolve matters of chieftaincy with dignity, through dialogue, and with mutual respect. The Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs stands ready to support and facilitate any resolution mechanisms fairly and neutrally. Distinguished elders, one issue that was repeatedly raised during my engagement with communities across this region was the matter of state lands and ancestral Dangme lands. These concerns are valid. I understand the historical injustices and emotional death tied to this matter. As a result, one of the first directives I issued upon assuming office as president was to direct the Lands Commission to halt all sale and processing of all government lands. This directive is still in force. Following the receipt of the oral committee report, the Attorney General initiated investigations into the alleged looting of prime government and Gadangbe lands that were sold to individuals with political influence some for as low as 45,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, these are lands whose values run into millions of cedis. It is in that spirit that I announced that following these investigations, we will consider the formation of a commission of inquiry to investigate the acquisitions, allocation, and use of public lands in Greater Accra. This commission will work with our chiefs, legal experts, historians, and affected communities to produce a comprehensive report, and this outcome will guide a lasting and just solution to a matter that has festered for far too long. Under healthcare delivery in this region, we will aim to transform the quality of outcomes for our healthcare. We therefore intend to upgrade the Greater Accra Regional Hospital into a full teaching hospital. That is the Ridge Hospital. We'll also construct Ridge Hospital Phase 2, which will increase the capacity of that hospital as a teaching hospital and Greater Accra Regional Hospital. The Ridge Hospital will also have an affiliation to the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. This will enhance specialist training and reduce referrals outside the region. Furthermore, we will expand CHIPS compounds in peri-urban communities like Botiano, Pung, Shai Osudoku to ensure that primary health care is accessible and reliable. For existing CHIPS compounds and all new CHIPS compounds we will build, we're going to include accommodation for the health workers who man the CHIPS compound. Let me commend the efforts of the Honorable Regional Minister Linda Akweli-Oklu and her MMDCs for their work in improving the street lighting and public safety in Accra. Well-lit communities deter crime and enhance urban mobility. I encourage the continuation and expansion of this initiative and will give it the full support of central government. Government will soon start the distribution and installation of street lights in all districts of Greater Accra. This will be important to promote our 24-hour economy policy, especially for persons who have to work in the night. Under the Market Enhancement Program, the Vice President Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman is leading a team that will select important markets across the country for improvement and reconstruction. And I believe that the Dodowa market is one of those that will see improvement. Our revered chiefs, my friends, our citizens, my government is committed to decentralization, local governance, and inclusive development. And that is why you continue to see greater engagement between the presidency and our traditional councils. I'll personally ensure that the voices of Gardangme communities, our fisher folk, our market women, our youth leaders, and professionals in this region are always heard and respected. Let us continue on this path hand in hand, heart to heart. Let us uphold the peace we enjoy. Let us work together to build a greater Accra that reflects the greatness of Ghana itself. Once again, I thank you for your support, your sacrifice, your prayers, and your belief in me. And I wish to assure you that I shall never disappoint you. May God bless the Greater Accra region. May God bless our traditional leaders. And may God bless our beloved homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. Yeah, you are done.
Yo, boho, you are done. That's President John Dramani. No, President Mama, you ain't Dodo. You should have said Nyechun Waka or Nyechumi or Mochumi. That's what you should have said. You are done. No. Please, President Mama, go back to Dodo tomorrow and go and say it to her. But anyway, that was the president speaking in the Shai Osudoku district capital, Dodowa, where he did a thank you tour of the Greater Accra region version. That would be it for Eyewitness News tonight and indeed for the week. My name is Umaru Sandama. The production, as always, Kobina Wilson, Beverly London, Sami Wiafi, Juliana Odami, and Manuel Ayama. Technical support from Desmond Nyaku. New media support from Emmanuel Usu and the new media team. Eyewitness News will be back on Monday at 17:30 GMT. If you want more news and current affairs, see her now tonight on Channel 1 TV at 8 p.m. with Charles Osukumi. And of course, the big issue tomorrow is Salam Kojo Adonu at 9 a.m. on Citi FM and Channel 1 Television. But up next, I leave you in the competent hands of Benjamin Nketia and the Citi sports team as they bring you Sports Panorama. Have a great weekend.